Phase 1 of the space mine is complete. I purchased $43,000 worth of ASIC miners for the space warehouse. I deviated a little bit from my plan. Originally, I was going to buy 3 L3s, an S19j Pro, and an Antminer L7. But China's crypto ban put a little bit of the fear in me. So I wanted to order this first batch through Alibaba with trade assurance so I could get my money back if something didn't work or didn't come at all. Since the L7 doesn't come out until November and trade assurance is only valid for 30 days, I would have had to just trust whatever company I'm buying from and just send Ether to a random supplier in another country, and with no absolute guarantee I would ever get that L7 for $20,000, that was a step too far. So I made up for it by ordering 4 S19j Pros instead to go with my L3++s. And since one of them has already arrived, that pushes me into phase 2 of this plan, infrastructure. Bitcoin miners, and specifically S19s, are power-hungry little blockchain hashers. Each one will drink up 3,100 watts and requires a 200 to 240 volt plug. And I got 4 of them, which means not only am I going to be divvying up over 12,000 watts of power, I've also got to mitigate over 12,000 watts of heat they pump out after validating all of your transactions. You're welcome. I thought that because of all the breakers in my warehouse electrical panel added up to 300 amps that I had that much power available to me. I was wrong. I made my way over to the main breaker at the front of this facility to find a disappointing 100 amp fuse at the start of the line. Luckily, these miners do run at 240 volts, so I can top out the warehouse at 19,200 watts as long as I'm observing the 80% rule. So I still have room for expansion and, like lights, internet, a microwave, mini fridge, whatever other comforts one tends to enjoy at their office. And I'm sure panel upgrades in the not too distant future, but first I had to deal with all of this heat. What I've come up with is this little 8 foot by 8 foot room built into the back of the warehouse around the rear door. I was trying to think of a way to dump heat without having to cut a hole into the side of the building. I imagine the building owner won't be on board with that. So what I came up with was a trip to the Home Depot to buy a replacement steel door for my rear door. Then I cut a giant hole into said door and I fitted a 4500 CFM exhaust fan and bolted it right into the center of that door. Whenever I move out of this warehouse, I'll just put the original door back on its hinges and it'll be like nothing ever happened. Then I framed up this cube-shaped room, and on the wall opposite of the big fan door, I cut 3 holes that are just a little smaller than the size of a 20 by 24 inch AC filter. All the air that gets sucked into this little room will first be filtered, then pass through the mines and get sucked out the exhaust port. I picked up a couple of bottles of expanding foam and some Gorilla Tape, and I sealed that place up, and now the hurricane room is complete. An 8 by 8 by 8 room is 512 square feet. Some quick math has that exhaust fan replacing all the air in that room every 6 seconds or so, which should mean that there will always be a cool side and a hot side to this room, and these things should stay well within their regular operating temperature and breathe only freshly filtered warehouse air. The best air. In the front of the room, I built a simple little slot so I can swap out the air filters very easily, however often they get dirty, which will probably change based on how much activity is going on in the warehouse in general. For these 6 units that I've already ordered, I'm all set for electrical, but I'm using every outlet that I have available to me, which was a smorgasbord of L620Rs, L630Rs, a 650P big boy, and a 4-blade L1420. The people who had this warehouse before me sure had a variety of plug-in needs, which gave me a great new education on power adapters for 240 volt applications. I think this weekend I'm going to take a stab at putting in my own breaker and running my own line from this panel so I don't have to keep using this 75 foot long L630 extension cord to the hurricane room. The profitability changes day to day, so this isn't going to be like accurate forever, but it'll be nice to look back on this in a few years and see how much these little guys were earning. Until next week when all the rest of my equipment arrives, I currently have 1 S19j Pro, 1 Antminer L3++, and 5 RTX 3080 GPUs running. This equipment is earning a total of $73 a day after electrical costs. And with 3 more S19Js and 2 more L3++s in the mail and on the way, I can extrapolate my earnings to be $181 a day, $5,450 per month, or $65,400 annually that I should be pulling from my mine farm. Of course, those numbers won't stay the same for an entire year. Difficulty will go up, which will make them earn less, but the price of Ether and Bitcoin could easily go up along with it, which will make them earn more. I do mine Litecoin and Doge with the L3s, but I converted to Bitcoin because of fear. This is the new Space Design mine. It needs some decorations, and I will give it some. I've actually put up for sale a piece of property that I own in Central Florida to pay for all these machines, so the money they make is all profit, maybe get a couple of more, as well as some electrical upgrades so that I can push this thing into six-figure territory. It's funny because even though this thing is going to earn about as much as working a full-time job, I can only house it for as long as I keep my full-time job, part of which gives me this amazing warehouse. It's a fun little catch-22 if you're into that kind of thing.